What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ride the Bean. Today we are camping somewhere in southern Spain. This video is a little bit shot ahead because the videos that I'm uploading to the channel is about a month behind reality. Takes a little bit of time to edit and all of that too. But yesterday I released the video about the Pyrenees. I don't know if you have seen that, where we crossed the Pyrenees. And I found the comments very interesting. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for watching the video and commenting. It's really fun to read all the comments, and it's very interesting. But what really interested me was how aggressive a lot of the comments were. A lot of you guys seem to really be angry with me, and I thought we would maybe have a little bit of a talk about what actually happened that day in the Pyrenees, because most of the comments, especially the most aggressive ones, seem to be very well, not very well reflected, it seems. Many of the comments were great, and there was a lot of good criticism and a lot of good tips, and I really appreciate all of that. Didn't really appreciate too much all the short-sighted comments, but I guess that's part of the game. Like a lot of comments, a lot of you guys were calling me mean and rude and ugly and all kinds of things, and I don't really agree with that.
Thank you.
But I don't know if you agree.
No.
But yeah, that's, so I was thinking maybe give a little bit of a context to what was actually happening, because a lot of the comments about yes, we are overloaded, we have not the right tires.
I'm not totally okay with overloading.
No?
At least for me.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah.
And yeah, a lot of those things are very valid points, and they are true. But there's also a reason why we are doing what we're doing. There's a backstory to it, and it's not always easy to, or it's not always possible to do things exactly perfect. For like your training, for example, you didn't have too much time to practice and all of that. And if you had the money and the time and all of that, it would be the perfect way to do it would be to get a lighter bike, do some months of practicing and all of that before the trip.
Yeah.
That wasn't really an option.
The tricky thing is not, I think the people see that, but it's not really, because a lot of people says, it seems like I want to look like a professional and stuff like this. It's not that. It's not about the money, of course. I don't buy a Triumph like it's fucking expensive bike. It's just like I say, when I try to do something, to learn something, I take all the chance with me, and I do that with my gear, for example. Mm-hmm. I take, yes, maybe it's not ideal, I don't know, but I try to pick the best, and I see many things, so I pick the Moscow because I see it's the best for off-road riding. Mm. I pick the Triumph. If I have the choice, of course, I pick another bike. I know I don't use only this bike for this trip. First of all, I search a bike good on-road, off-road, and maybe better on-road. And for my life at home, for going to work, seeing my friend, enjoying a little ride with my friends, stuff like this, I'm really happy with this one. And of course, I really want to begin with come back to 20 years ago and practice with a little 50cc, but I don't have this chance at this moment, even the money. So Of course, it's more smart to begin with a smaller bike, but even for this trip, I mean, imagine if we go on a highway, because we do a lot of kilometers. Like I have almost 8,000 now. So imagine that on a little bike on the highway is not really.
Yeah, like for example, we did Barcelona to Jerez, which is like 900 kilometers in one day.
Yeah,
that
even
would be
in France.
Terrible in.
That's my place to Carcassonne, or
Yeah.
It's not really great, and yeah.
Yeah, and when it comes to your off-roading skills, we tried to practice a little bit before we went, but we didn't have time to do too much stuff.
And it's not really the time. It's we try to find the time too. We're trying to find a proper trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I contact many of them, but they are overbooked at this moment. And when I say overbooked, it's like for the 6 next months. So at some point you need to. So let's go.
Yeah.
So.
But you knew that getting this bike would make it more difficult for you to learn. That would make the learning curve steeper. Yeah. But you were aware of that before you bought the bike, of course. And also when it comes to the tires, you were trying to get the Mitas tires, but they were not available. And we were trying to get the TKC 80s. They were not available.
Before buying the bike, but I already said that in another video.
Yeah.
Before buying the bike, I want to order the Mitas 07 that they don't have in the shop.
Yeah.
At Avignon, and they just have this one.
These were the TKC 70 were the best option that was available at the moment. So yeah, they were not ideal tires for crossing the Pyrenees like we did, but they were the tires that were available at the time of departure. So we just had to make the best of it. And when it comes to the luggage, yeah, we have a lot of luggage, but we're not just riding motorcycles either. We're doing a lot of other things. And for a lot of you guys who go on weekend trips or like a week or 2 long trips, you're packing very differently. And for you, it seems like it's a lot of weight. And it is, but remember, this is now my life, and riding is just maybe 1/5 of the time that I spend. And I spend a lot of time in camp. I spend a lot of time in people's, like meeting people and doing other things in cities, going to coffee shops, doing all kinds of other things and living my life too. And I want to be comfortable doing that. And I would rather struggle a little bit more off-road and be comfortable and be able to do what I want to do with the rest of my time, instead of being perfectly packed for off-road and then missing out on the things I want to enjoy. The things I want to enjoy when I'm not on the bike. So that's why I carry all this stuff I have. And I know I can get rid of a lot of it. Like I have several kilos of coffee, I have a bunch of coffee equipment, I have both a tent and a hammock and a tarp and all of that. I can get rid of all that, but I like it. I like having those things, and coffee is part of me. It's part of what I do and what I enjoy doing. So that's why I have the weight that I do. And yeah, it makes it a little bit more tricky off-road, but so be it.
This is why it is a agree for me, because I don't have many shit, I think.
Yeah, you've been pretty...
Even with my experience, like nothing. Because I watch many videos, and I need to thankful particular one French YouTuber for that. Yeah. Because they helped me to pack, to find the best thing to bring with me and stuff like this. It's Les Apprentis Voyageurs. Thanks, Greg. So yes, because for me, everything I have fits in the Moscow. I just have 3 bags, and the other bag on top of that is just the tent and the chair. That's it. Yeah. That's it. And the tricky thing is we travel between 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. The first night on camp are very, very cold. We drive on bad condition in
Those icy roads and
winter too. So, but in terms of, we need, I want to do a video about the stuff we have.
yeah, but we're gonna make a video about all the stuff we have, but that's gonna come much later than this video. But so that's sort of the reason why we have the wrong tires and a lot of luggage, which yes made it difficult, but we were aware of that. Yeah. So it's not like we didn't think about all of these things, but the situation didn't allow for it. So yeah, when it comes to the mountain, it's like when we got together and decided to go on this trip, we had a talk about like what to expect, what to do in certain situations, when is enough, and when do we turn around and all of that. All of this we had talked about before, and I had told Jonathan that my personality is like I keep pushing, but if you tell me that no, this is the line, then I'm fine with that. Then we reassess and we reevaluate and turn back if we have to. But until I hear that, then in my head we keep going. And this is also where the difference in our personalities comes to show, because all of my life that has been my way of doing everything, and I've never really thought about danger. Like, well, we have a different definition of what danger is, I think. For me, danger is when it's life-threatening. If it's not life-threatening, it's not dangerous. Falling and hurting yourself a little bit, maybe breaking a leg or an arm, that's not dangerous. It's risky, yes, it's not dangerous. Dangerous is when your life is at stake. But he has a different definition of danger.
Yeah. Breaking a leg is dangerous.
I wouldn't say so. So that with that in mind, first of all, we don't really know each other that well. We only met a couple of weeks before and spent a few weeks together. So we're getting to know each other as we're traveling, and we're learning from each other and all this. And I've never been a trainer or a motorcycle guide or anything. I am on my journey, and he wanted to join my journey. And my way of doing things is just I explore. I look at the map, I see a place, and I find a road that looks interesting, and we go there. See what happens. That's what I enjoy doing. And I don't know what you think about that approach, but you were aware that this was my approach of doing to traveling.
Yeah, of course. But I think our fault is even it's your approach, and because we are two, and because the difference of skill is huge off-road. I think our fault is not. Of course, I think it's best. It's a good idea to just see what happened and stuff like this, but considering what's all the thing we say just previously, maybe our fault is not playing the at least the off-road.
In hindsight, at that particular place, yes, it would have been smart to maybe look for a different road and plan differently. But that's easy to say in hindsight. We didn't know what to expect when we got there, and when we kind of realized how difficult it was, we were halfway up the mountain, and it was like we had two choices at that point: go back or go forward. And neither of us really wanted to go back. You didn't want to turn around either.
No, because I was too afraid to take the same road.
So we kind of had to keep pushing, and all of my life that's been my way of doing things. Ever since I was 4 years old, I've been just, if I wanted to do something, I just went for it. As a kid, I used to jump off the balconies. I jumped off my cabin's roof at the age of 4, 5, 6. Climbing Kilimanjaro was the same thing. I just like go for it or pass out. And that has been my approach to everything in life. And so traveling with you has been like, I have to learn a new way of thinking and a new way of doing things, because I'm not used to this level of apprehensiveness that you have. And it's a learning experience for me. And I found it interesting how so many of you are calling me ugly and mean and rude and a bad friend and all of these things. I really don't feel like I am.
No.
I don't know if you feel that.
No, I know. I think people react like this because they are afraid of just seeing us do stupid shit and just broke something,
Yeah.
and see the end of the trip after 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I completely understand that. But it's just it comes down to our difference of the way we view things differently.
Yeah.
And now after we've been together for a bit, I know your limits a lot more. At that time, we had just been together on the road for a couple of days, and yeah, we just kept pushing and we did it. And in my head, as long as you keep doing it, you're doing it. It's not too much. It's not bad. It's difficult, yes, but you're doing it. You're going forward. And as long as you're moving forward, it's the right thing to do, and it's full steam ahead. But you're much more apprehensive, and that's something I'm not used to. So when you say too much, for me in my head, too much is too much. Then it's like no, it's the limit. But you say too much, but you still want it to keep going. That doesn't click in my head. Those are two opposite viewpoints. So you wanted to keep going, but you said too much. So then it wasn't too much.
Yeah, it's difficult to, because if I was alone in this mountain, after the first corner, when you try to find a little bit of loose gravel and sharp corner, and especially when people see I struggling a lot with U-turn, I probably turn around after the first corner. But yeah, even if I say to you, okay, now it's too much, I want to go back, and it's not as that simple, I think, because in a way, of course I do these trips to progress my skill on the bike. So I want to keep pushing, even if sometimes it's too much. Because if every time I encounter some difficulty, I say, no, it's too much, let's go back, I don't learn anything. So it's tricky to find the balance, and it's tricky to say no because you undergo the thing, and even if you want to do something, you not really choose the road, and it's a little bit down thing. Someone noticed that. He explained much better than me, but yeah,
I get that. It's but this whole situation was a learning experience for the both of us. We learned where our limits were, where our limits to versus skill level was. We learned about each other. We got to know each other better through that ordeal, I think.
For me, it's much learning about each other than learning my limits.
But like the thing is, like you still say that it was too much and is all of that. But
yeah.
I understand that. But you can also look at it now in hindsight. You went through it. This was probably the most difficult thing you've ever done in your life. You said, or like,
not the most difficult thing, but the most scary.
A lot of you guys were telling me that, were angry at me for kind of making light and laughing, and they said I was bullying you at the top and making jokes about everything. But that's kind of my way of dealing with difficult situations. When I was, for example, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, that was also how I dealt with the situation. I was scared shitless. I was dead exhausted. When I reached the Gilman's Point, almost at the top there, I wanted to give up, and I was completely broken. But I told myself jokes in my head, and I was like sort of trying to make myself laugh a little bit. What if I fall off the edge here? Wouldn't that be funny, rolling down the hill? That's kind of my way of dealing with tough situations. But that's probably very different for you.
It's not that. I think I react like that too, but the only difference is when you encounter a challenge and you overpass that by laughing and try to have this state of mind, it's because in the first place you agree with what you actually doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was not the case for me at this moment. It's the only thing, I think. Because of course it's not the first challenge I encounter in my life. And I react like that too, but you need to be very comfortable with the situation. I mean, agree with what you actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right not the case because I considering at this moment it was so much overkill from my skill.
And this is also a learning experience for me. Like, I live my life the way I live my life, and I see things the way I see things and all that. But these situations help me get a different perspective on things. Like, this is a situation I had never been in before. I've never traveled like this with another person that I didn't really know. And it was a learning experience for me. Next time I do something like that, I will probably handle things a little bit differently. But in the moment, this was my first experience too. And this was my natural way of dealing with things, trying to laugh it off, trying to make light of it. And in my head, it's as long as we kept going forward, it was good. If we didn't keep going forward, then we could sit down and have the discussion.
But I'm afraid you don't learn the big lesson of this one.
What is that?
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, I guess that's the one we'll never agree on. Because
you should take care of yourself. It's one of your biggest problem, I think.
Yeah, people keep telling me that.
Because my approach is if you really like something in your life, like you like driving the bike, you like this type of lifestyle, me too. And I see that at a goal in life, for it's my goal in life for the moment, enjoy that, the more as I can. So if I push too much at the beginning, maybe something bad happen and I can't do that anymore after. This is my approach.
That makes sense, absolutely. But it's just my approach to life has always been just full steam ahead, and I've never really thought about the consequences. I never thought I would make it to 30 years old, and so I've always thought that I'd rather live a short and exciting life than a long and boring one. And for me, being too careful is boring. I would rather just go full steam ahead and have it being more risky than to take it very slow and gradually. Yes, that's probably the smarter way of doing things. I completely understand that. But it has never been my way of thinking. And having to adapt to your way of thinking is a new thing for me. It's not that I don't want to do it or I'm opposed to it or anything like that. It's just it takes me time to readjust my brain and hold back in a way. And like I'm not a motorcycle instructor. I'm not, and I've never said I have any skills or I can teach anything. So all I'm trying to do along the way is just give you small hints and tips here and there based on my own experience and how I would do things in that situation. That's basically all I can do. I never claimed to be a professional or an instructor or anything. This whole situation was, for me, it was an amazing experience. I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot from it, and I overcame personal challenges with it, and I got to know you better. For me, there was absolutely nothing negative about the situation and experience at all. But I understand that for you it was.
Yeah.
But it's also, I think, it's also about mentality, because yes, it was a scary situation for you, and you didn't have your mind with you and all of that, but that is an opportunity to really like get inside your head and actually rationalize things for yourself, or try to analyze your feelings, your emotions, and the situation you're in, to try to overcome it the best way possible. So in my head, I'm thinking about those aspects of it. So when I was trying to push you and say, come on, get it together, just do it, just go for it, it wasn't mean-spirited. It was because
You do that for yourself.
I do that for myself. So I that was my way of trying to motivate you. Maybe that was not the right approach for you. I understand that.
It's not the right approach. It's because after reaching the top of the mountain, I not feel the need to push myself, because I have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's go down on this fucking mountain.
You had to go down somehow.
So it's not possible to sleep on top of the mountain. We have to go down. So I don't have the need to push myself hard to go down.
No, not push yourself hard, but push your mental state to change it to being scared and having a negative outlook on it, into looking at it as a positive thing. You said you're not skilled enough for that track, and that I disagree with, because you got up, so you are skilled enough. In my view, if you can do it, you're skilled enough. If you are not skilled enough, you wouldn't be able to get up. Then you would have fallen and fallen and fallen and fallen and fallen, and you didn't. You fell twice on the way up, and the only times you fell on the way down was in the corners, because you're not so confident in U-turns. But in the straight lines, you said, how did you feel in your straight line, in the straight lines between the corners?
Yeah, it was very challenging in the straight line too, but it's true, I don't fall in the straight line. Yeah, I really struggle with the U-turn. It's a big thing for me.
But you also struggle with that on asphalt.
Yeah.
So it's not really the terrain or the place that was the most tricky part. It was the U-turn, wasn't it?
Yeah, and because you have the cliff, and it's even difficult on tarmac for me, the U-turn on perfect flat tarmac. But if you put gravel, loose gravel, sharp U-turn, a thing like this, and the cliff, and of course a lot of people says my look is very bad, because I was tetanized by fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I need to look up. But if you tetanize by fear, you're just straight. Yeah. And I say at one moment when I fall, I was very scared by the cliff, and I just straight.
Yeah.
My vision is so I fall, because I won't let the bite go. It is the same problem with my speed off-road. Because I'm afraid, I'm slowed down.
And so it makes it more difficult.
So it's more difficult, so I fall.
Yeah, it all makes sense, and it's...
And I know all of that, and it's the mountain.
So that was also what I was trying, well, probably not so successfully, but I was trying to get you out of your own head, because I've seen you, when you're doing things reactionary, when you just have to do it without having the time to analyze it and think about it, you're doing it correctly. You're a good rider. So what I've seen from the days before we got to that place, you are capable of doing it, because you had done a lot of those things before in situations where you were not in your own head. So the only thing stopping you in that situation was your own head. It was not your skill level. It was not the tires. It was not the weight of the bike. Yes, those things made it a little bit more tricky, but that was not what was stopping you. What was stopping you was your head. And maybe my approach was not the best approach, but what I was trying to do was get you out of your own head.
Yeah, of course, I know I know you want my good and push myself in this
Yeah.
situation for going out of this
Yeah.
shitty situation, of course.
Maybe that doesn't work for some people, but for me, that is the approach. Like when I ended up in those situations where I'm scared shitless and like, that's what I need. I need someone to just tell me, now you're being silly. Just do it. Just get out of your own head and push through. This is how you do it. Just go. That's what I need. And so I just try to do the same to you. But you react differently to that approach. And now I've learned that. But how do you feel about it now, like a month later, reflecting back on the whole thing and everything that has happened, well, there and then after? Do you still feel not confident, and or have you improved at all? Do you feel that yourself, or what?
I'm not really happy with my progression.
No?
No, I think I understand riding a bike like this and beginning like this way with the luggage bike. It's fucking tricky. But yeah, when I do something, I want to be, and it's to be perfect.
You're very, very impatient.
Yeah, it's not impatient, because in a mountain, for example, I want to stay step by step. Is I really hard on myself on many things, and yes, it's really difficult when you see some people doing crazy stuff on social media with the
You
bike.
can't compare yourself to,
yeah, of course,
to that.
of course. But for me, this is my biggest problem. Is because I compare a lot. It's not only a bad thing, I think, because it's give me the strength for pushing myself and reach that goal. But yeah, sometimes I just need to say, okay, let's get objective with yourself and say, okay, you improve. But it's really hard to me to say that even right now.
Well, I can clearly see your improvements. Like for me, it's been fun watching your progression from very first time putting your tires on off road to now just getting up to this place was tricky, and you did it without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
It was tricky because you were tired last night, but
Yeah.
but it wasn't because of the
No,
road.
no.
You're doing all of these tricky roads and everything, just going straight forward without hesitation now. When we went on the Tet a couple of days ago, for example, you were scared, and that was kind of the roads you were looking for, but you were going much faster and with much more confidence on those roads than you did just a couple of weeks ago.
On those roads, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But the feeling I have off-road, like every time I put my two-wheel in gravel, and I still feel the fear, and it's annoying me a lot.
I think maybe your tires will help you. If you change your tires, it's going to help you gain confidence. And it looks like you have to do that soon anyway. All in all, have you had a positive experience with this this journey? And what has it been okay traveling with me? What do you feel?
Yeah,
it has
it was
been like?
Fucking challenging. But yeah, it's totally fine, of course. And what can I say? Yeah, and even this type of lifestyle is for this during of time. It's type of time. I mean, yeah, it's challenging, even just that.
Yeah.
Not too much, because before starting the trip I was confident with this type of living. The big fear I have because before this trip was my skill on the bike, and I need to thank all the people for all the advice they give me.
Been a lot of great advice.
Yeah, a lot of good advice.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. This
for me,
community is really good.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I like really like about this YouTube channel.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing.
but the reason I keep going is because of all of these people who are actually interacting with me and actually trying to help me. A lot of people are just being negative and
Yeah, but
that's
it's always
funny, and I laugh it off, and it is what it is. But most of you guys are really helpful and friendly, and I really appreciate all the comments and all the feedback and all the messages that I get.
It's interesting. Even for me, some people just say, if you pass in my country, just
Yeah.
visit me. It's amazing.
Yeah, you meet friends
Yeah.
all over because of this. You're gonna see probably in the next episode when I release this video, one of the subscribers that we meet, Edimir.
Yeah.
Really great guy. That's gonna be fun.
He helped us a lot.
Yeah, he helped us a lot. But for me, it's been really fun traveling with you. I never expected to travel with someone on this trip, so this was an unexpected thing to happen, but
Yeah.
it's been amazing. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned what it's like to travel with a partner that I don't know. The only people I've traveled with before is Pia before she died, and Elias and Christian back in Norway. Other than that, I've only been alone. And it's nice to have a partner. It's nice to have someone to talk to in camp, someone to hang out with, do stuff with. And we've been just hanging out together a lot of the time, but we've also done our separate stuff when we felt like doing that. It's been really great, I think.
It's a big challenge.
It's a big challenge. We don't agree on everything, and
It's a big challenge because, first of all, I'm French, so I complain a lot.
Yes. Yes. Everything is terrible.
And because my English is bad, I talk like a 5 years old. So I use all the time the same word I know. So when everything I don't like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's not annoying. No, it's terrible.
Yes. Well, yeah, but it's been really fun, and I'm really glad we did this. And
Yeah.
I've been really impressed by you. Like,
Thank
I
you
have to
very
say,
much.
like, a lot, very impressed. Because what you've done is most people who ride a motorcycle, would never attempt what you have been trying on this trip. So you deserve credit for that, I think.
Thank you.
I think you guys would agree with me, wouldn't you? Yeah, but I think we gotta get back on the road now. It's getting hot. Today we're just gonna head back to Jerez. The last couple of weeks have been fun. We've been doing some smaller trips in the north of Spain before we headed down here to watch the MotoGP race last weekend. We've been to Gibraltar. We've been to different places. Seen a lot of interesting things. Met some cool people. And in the upcoming episodes, you get to see most of that. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and click subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see all the next episodes that are coming up from our journey through Spain. Like I said, we are about a month behind reality. So, and I'm releasing 2 videos a week. So it's gonna take a little bit of time, but it's coming. And there's a lot to look forward to. And more is coming in the future. We have to split up in not too long because you have to go back to work. But I will continue my trip. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but I'll find out soon, I think. So I guess we'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Sorry about the weird editing in this video. The cameras kept overheating and dying. So I just had to cut everything together as best as I could. But I hope it made sense.